speaking of the Super Bowl hangover, Levin, you didn't see this. I know this talking to you before the show, but today Netflix dropped the trailer for that receiver show. Remember, they did the quarterback show with Mahomes and Marcus Mariota and Kirk Cousins. Well, now they're doing the receiver show. I think it's Devontae Adams, it's Justin Jefferson, it's George Kittle, and it's Deebo Samuel. And first of all, they're showing all these clips, and like it looks really cool, but also like we know how the story ends. Like, I know the Titanic is going to sink at the end of this thing. So I really want to watch it because I think we'll find out some cool stuff. But I also don't want to watch it because they lose the Super Bowl.
Will we get a drunk Kyle Shanahan cameo?
I doubt it. I'm sure it's very tightly controlled as to what comes out. But that's why I'm kind of fascinated by this stuff, because what comes out, if there's anything sort of controversial, the fact that it was left in, to me, would tell me a lot. So I'm kind of interested to see like what actually makes it. I bet you will find out how hurt George Kittle was. Obviously, we know he had offseason surgery, but I bet we'll learn a little bit more about that. Maybe a little bit more about Deebo Samuel. Remember, he got hurt against the Packers and he was hurt in the Super Bowl. That whole thing. What happened at halftime of the Lions game? Because don't forget, too, like, as we go along, I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is in it too. As we go along, the other guys are going to be eliminated. So it's going to be more about the guys that are left, more about St. Brown, more about Kittle, more about Deebo. So they're going to have the most information in this thing out of anybody. So I think we'll find out a couple juicy things.
I'll be most interested to see like game day stuff. Like, how did you prep? Well, not necessarily, I guess not necessarily game day, but like, how did you prep for the games? And during the games, what was your demeanor on the sideline? Like, did we see a moment where Debo's going off and being wide receiver diva saying, give me the ball? You know what I mean? Because we've seen, and it's one that's applauded by everybody because of how it worked out, where he told Shanahan, get me the damn ball. And then he immediately scored a touchdown.
Against the Cowboys, yeah.
Yeah, in the playoffs a few years ago. So, like, we have seen that. Is that one instance just like a one-off? Or does Debo do that on the sideline all the time? That's one of the things like I'll be interested to see. Like, is there a diva to him or is there not? Because I truly don't know. Like, you see kind of with his demeanor that he could be, but he also just might not be. He might be like one of those guys that's kind of like a dog during the game. Like, he just wants to hit people. You know what I mean? He's out there for the physicality of it. And he's not going around saying, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. Because if he is that way, then I do wonder if some of the reasons why he gets focused on so much is Kyle Shanahan kind of naturally being swayed by that.
But I think there's a difference between I want the ball in a big situation to make a play and, hey, I'm just not getting enough passes. Like, I think there's a difference between just wanting the ball no matter what so you can get your numbers and put up big stats. And also, like, I honestly feel like Debo in that Cowboys game in that situation was like, we need a play right now. Yeah. I'm going to make it. And I think there is a little bit of a difference between those two.
There certainly is. There have been players that are very much, they want the ball for their statistics. And then there have been players that want the ball because they want to win. T.O., I would say, ironically, is the guy that like fits perfectly between both of them. Like, he wanted the ball for his statistics, yes, but he also wanted the ball because he truly believed, like, me having the ball is our best ability to win.
Yeah, and let's be honest, especially once Jerry wasn't there anymore, he was right. You are the only person that emphasizes the T when they refer to Terrell Owens by his initials. Only everyone else says T.O. You say T.O. Why?
Why do I speak the way I do? I don't know.
Don't know. I
have no idea. That's how I've always said it.
T.O.
He became my favorite player when I was 13.
I know.
That was first becoming a nickname.
You would think you would learn how to say his name right. I don't know. Diego Figueroa, YouTube channel member, says Receiver, that Netflix show, should be out now in the 40 Days of Nothing. I totally agree with you. Maybe they were trying to think like before training camp will put this out. They should put it out now because shows are desperate. I remember what it was like producing PFT and being like, holy hell, what are we going to talk about on tomorrow's show? Because nothing is happening. You're right, Diego. See, our channel members are very, very smart. That's why you need to become a channel member. It's less than $3 a month. You get priority comment response, custom emojis, and membership badges as well. So I want to watch the Netflix show. I don't know that I'm going to learn. Like when I watched the quarterback show, I learned a lot about Kirk Cousins. Like I learned about just what he was like as a person. I learned how friggin' tough that guy is. Like I was stunned by how beat up Kirk Cousins got. He would take these brutal hits in the game and he would go off to the sideline like, dang it. Ow, man. Ooh. It's like, dude, you just got crushed. How are you not like writhing in pain? I don't know that I'm going to learn about any of these guys more than that because I feel like I know them pretty well already, but maybe I'm wrong.
Like I said, the people are different on game day too. Like there are
Yeah.
players where we've seen them in press conferences and you think you know them, and then you get a glimpse of mic'd up or something along those lines, and they're different. You know, some people have a switch that flips on game days, and some people are kind of the same both on and off the field. It'll be interesting to see which, if any, of those two are different. Like, yeah, Kittle goofs around a lot, but we have seen that on mic'd up where he still goofs around during games. You know what I mean? Like on the sideline, he kind of cracks jokes. So we know like that's part of him is that like he tries to keep things from becoming too serious. You know what I mean? He tries to keep things light so that people don't get kind of caught up in themselves and mess up because of it. That's his demeanor. How is Debo? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see if we hear any sideline clips of Shanahan? Is he cursing anybody out like during the games, or what is his interaction with them like? I saw a good tweet just now from Kyle Posey of Niners Nation. He tweeted out a still from the trailer, and if you're watching the stream, you could see it now. It's a picture of Debo with his son, and in the lower left-hand corner is what can only be described as a fishbowl of alcohol with multiple straws in it. And as Kyle Posey astutely points out on Twitter, the drink in the bottom left corner is when you know these two as parents had a day with that little boy. I think they're at like a bowling alley or something. As a father of two, I could say A plus KP. I totally relate.
Yeah, that is a very big drink.
It's huge.
That's something I personally don't do. I got no problem if certain people do it, as long as it's controlled. I'm not a big fan of like parents being completely obliterated
Oh
around
yeah, no, you
because
can't.
you never know when an emergency happens. But I grew up in a non-alcoholic family. I'm the only one that drinks in my family, so I personally don't drink around my kid. I drink when after she goes to bed.
That is it's a fishbowl. That's the only way I could describe it.
It is. It's one of those tropical drinks.
Yep.
It's that tropical blue color. I think I saw one umbrella in it. So
Strawberry React says, "Oh gosh, I haven't had a fishbowl since college." I have a feeling there's a story behind that one, Strawberry. Just not saying, just saying. Okay, so I do want to watch that show. I think it's going to be really interesting. And we'll see. Because like we're never going to get a 49ers Hard Knocks because Kyle Shanahan will never ever go for that. So could be like as close as we get to some sort of behind the scenes thing.
would be the coolest thing that could come out of that show
What?
is if you and I, especially me, are in a scene during Super Bowl media week or something. You know, like you didn't see us in the background.
Yeah, well, I mean, we did go
It
to
is
multiple
possible.
media sessions, so
Yeah.
that's true. Now everybody has a reason to watch. See if you can see us in the
Yeah,
back.
just fast forward all the way to the Super Bowl. All the rest of it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Who cares? We know what happened. I didn't think of that, but you're right. Theoretically, it's possible. Or media night, right? I mean, we were on the field with all those guys. We interviewed Greenlaw and Steve
That's
Wilks.
what we should do. We should create a game and people can wager on it. What media member of the 49ers is the most seen? So you got to go through and count how many times you see them and see like who was seen in the most shots.
Well, I think David Lombardi has a good shot because he's very tall. He's always very well dressed, and he's very tall, so it's easy to spot. So I think I would probably go with David Lombardi.
That is very true. I wonder if there'll be any interviews with like, did they have a beat reporter to comment from each team? You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
like sometimes you need like that almost narrator to talk about like to set the stage of this scene that you're about to see. I wonder if they brought in any beat writers.
I don't know. Speaking of 49ers beat writers, I'm going to sit down with Cam Idman tomorrow He's got a book coming out called The Franchise. It's all about the 49ers. So I'm going to sit down with him. Michelle is off tomorrow. She's on vacation in Syracuse. So we're going to have a little 49ers beat writer on tomorrow's show instead.